ride. Take the ride. For more fun, you better subscribe. You never won't miss the vibe. Take the ride. right. For more fun, you better subscribe. You never want to miss the vibe.
Always doing it sunny side up. It's the hen. Fuck. What's up, my friends? How are you doing? It's what, Monday? It's Monday evening. I hope you've oiled up your butt cheeks or whatever it is you need to do on a Monday. I don't know, man. People are weird these days. So, first things first, let's share the live stream link in the Discord. And then we shall proceed from there. All right. Oops. I put this in the wrong place. Ha ha! That's what I said to your mother last night. And she said it was not the wrong place. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. That's the right place. That's where it goes. Perfect. All right. Good times. So, now that that's done, let's do our hellos. All right. What up? Aang, Kanzuki, JC, Millmaster, Gerthulu, Zircon, Yamagoro, Juglum, Shelton, Jojo, Gianna, Larry, Joe, Rex, Dragon, Bear, Everyday, Done. I think that's all the people who have said something in the chat. Hello, my friends. I'm hopped up on sugar and caffeine. Oh, Mitchell Shelton with the super chat saying, think about building my castle around the OG spawn point on the server. Around it? You mean nearby, right? Don't build your base at the actual spawn point if that's what you're talking about, because that's rude, man. That's very rude. You build it nearby, that's fine, right? Hold on, let's move this back. But you don't build it like at the spawn point, because that's where everybody starts. Just turn the spawn point into like a lava hole. Anybody who shows up just ends up getting lavaed out. All right, Shelton, you're Lord of the Board. Thanks for the super chat, big boy. Oh, there's a marker right there. Look at that. Oh, the camera's acting up. Hold on. Let's see. Maybe if we adjust that a little bit. Is it still... You know what? Actually, there's a way to stop it from goof bagging around. So let's just do that. Let's just do that. Okay, it should be fine now. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, Rex. Donnie the knee toucher is here. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't open the window for proper airflow. Hold on, I gotta do that. I gotta do that, because otherwise it gets too warm in here. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I produce a lot of hot air. There we go. There we go. Kyle, what's up? Hatcher Stream is your favorite thing to listen to while you play Fortnite? Jump and build a wall, and then build a wall and jump. I sniped him, Dad. I shot him with my goobly gun, and I stuck a chicken in his pinata's butt. You did it, Billy. Daddy loves you now. I would never play games that are played by kids. That's why I play Minecraft. Because, like, no kids play Minecraft. Minecraft is an adult game through and through. But yeah, I don't know. I don't give a shit about Fortnite. It ain't for me, but I definitely do like Minecraft. I definitely do like me some Minecraft. So Shelton, you actually got yourself settled into the Minecraft world, did you, buddy? Dragon, you're so glad you didn't buy the Foundation starter box. Would have been really pissed about the product control. You figure Wizards would put in the effort to make a good impression on people who are just starting out with the game, but ultimately, like, we don't have time for that. We don't have the ability to focus on making quality goods. We only know how to make expensive goods. That's it. Print it to garbage quality and charge them 3 times as much for it. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I really wish Wizards of the Coast would step up their quality. That's one of the biggest things to me is they keep pushing the price up and there is literally no attempt to improve the quality whatsoever. And every once in a while someone tries to argue with me, the quality is better. And it's like, it absolutely isn't. The foils are all banged up around the edges. The cards are poorly produced. That is not up for debate. It's literally a fucking fact. So it blows my mind that some people try and argue card quality is great now. It's like, do you know what card quality is? Like, we should probably start there, because we can't have this conversation if you don't understand what the phrase actually means. And if you think that current card quality for Magic is great, you don't understand what card quality means. It's as simple as that. Shelton, you died once falling into sand? Guess that's what you meant by pounding sand. Falling into sand. Oh, quicksand? Yeah, bro, you died to quicksand. You can just dig it out. You can literally be standing in it and digging it out as you're sinking into it, bro. So the fact that you died to that is actually pretty funny to me. That's pretty funny. Arby, who cares about card quality when they go in sleeves anyways? I care. I absolutely care. The cards should be good quality. The fact, like, sleeves are meant to, because you want to protect your fucking cards, right? So they should be making quality things in the first place. That's a ridiculous argument. Who cares about card quality? You should have to buy sleeves, and then Wizards can give you the cheapest crap and charge more for it. I assume you must be being fucking sarcastic, because that can't possibly be a fucking genuine argument going, well, since you need to buy sleeves, it's actually okay for the card quality to be garbage. Fuck no. That is not acceptable in the slightest. At all. At all. Not even close. Juglum, as an old printer and QC, the lack of quality control drives you crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's maddening. It's maddening. I've been playing Magic forever. They used to genuinely care about their card quality. And they didn't just constantly look for ways to squeeze as much money as they could out of us. And now it's like, no time to worry about card quality because we got 1 billion products coming along. Speaking of which, we haven't actually talked about one of the 1 billion products coming along. So let's take a look at what we've got for the Secret Lair. All right. So Secret Lair, 20 ways to win is what they're calling this one. And it's got some of the ways, I mean, in the ways to win, it counts combat damage and commander combat damage, right? There's 4 ways that they listed in the initial product. They haven't shown us that much of the deck yet, but it says 3 of the ways to win. Win by dealing 21 commander damage to your last opponent. So that's number 1. Number 2 is win by reducing last opponent's life total to 0. Number 3 is the library is closed. Win when last opponent attempts to draw from an empty library. A deck that can mill everybody, kill everybody, can it? Like, with 20 different ways to win, will it actually be able to win at all? You know? So they've got the Go Shintai of Life's Origins, which is 1 green and 3 for a 3/4 legendary enchantment creature shrine. And that's going to throw people off because they think that shrine's a creature type, but it's not. And it's got the ability, pay 1 of each color and tap it, return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and whenever the Shintai of Life's Origin or another non-token shrine you control enters, create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token, which doesn't count as a creature type shrine. It just counts as enchantment type shrine. So this deck feels like it's going to be a random mishmash. And then the Sol Ring, obviously, is just a Sol Ring. I don't understand what the overall theme they're going for with this one is in terms of like the artwork concept. So Sol Ring is obviously, what's the flavor text say? Bound within this golden ring is the arcane power to purchase tasty treats. So this is just about a bunch of raccoons who like to eat or something like that? Because we've got, we also have, where is it? We also have Approach of the Second Sun, which is 2 eggs sunny side up, right? And Approach of the Second Sun is a card that lets you win all by itself. If it was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell called Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put the spell into its owner's library, 7th from the top, and gain 7 life. So there's going to be a bunch of random cards like this, where it's like, hey, I just win the game, right? So when you have 20 different cards like that, Approach of the Second Sun, when you can only have 1 copy of it in your deck, is a little bit weird, right? The whole singleton commander thing, it obviously works better when you play 4 copies. So are they going to unban Coalition Victory and shove it into this deck? They're in charge of Commander now. They could easily announce that and shove it in this deck, right? What's to stop them? Who knows? Either way, this is the second time I think that we've seen like real world eggs depicted on a Magic card, isn't it? There's the one token from Doctor Who where the chick is cooking bacon and egg in a pan, I think. And then this with the 2 little eggs over easy. And the little raccoon dude is like, he's licking his lips. Coming back for seconds is always a winning move. It's fun. It's a fun little concept for a card. So overall, that's this right now is the entirety of what we've seen from the deck. But I imagine that they're going to have, they've already mentioned mill and combat damage. So how many other ways are there to win that aren't specific? Are there any other ways to win Magic that don't specifically say so on the card? I don't think so. So how is the mill thing going to work? What are they going to use for the mill? Are they just going to have 1 random mill card in the deck? Like your commander deck is about what, 34, 35 cards of lands? I don't know exactly how many lands they put into precons. So you got like 65 some odd cards, and like 20 of them are pretty much going to be dedicated to individual win cons. It's exactly, no, I mean, if it's 20 ways to win, and they've already listed 3, the mill card doesn't necessarily need to be automatically like mill and win, right? So with the Approach of the Second Sun, there could be 16 other variant I win cards. The cheese stands alone. They put that as, they did that card again as an actual non-silver bordered card. I can't remember what the name of it is though. But they literally did the cheese stands alone as, was it a Future Sight card originally? They brought it back as an actual Magic card. Kensuke, why 20 ways to win, not 21 ways to win, because 21 commander damage wins? No, they list that. They list that as one of the first 3. Damage and commander damage. So you got that damage, commander damage, and milling are 3 ones that they've listed on the first little like banner image with these cards. And then on the next one, it's Approach of the Second Sun. So that means we're seeing 4 of the different ways there are to win. There's still 16 more. 20 creature cards in the graveyard you win. Mortal Kombat, I believe, is the name of that enchantment. Yup. They could go for Test of Endurance, which is have more than 50 life when you win. They could go with Chance Encounter, where you flip coins and go for the coin flip win. What else? What are some of the other win con cards specifically? Potts, is this some kind of generic brand of Ghibli-like theming? It's a good question. It definitely has a cutesy vibe to it, cartoonish, so I guess they're just swinging in a bunch of different directions, right? Bearing Glory, that's the card, Sam. Well done. Spurl, I'm doing good, bro. I don't know if you were there around. I saw that super chat you did last night, but I was unable to see the screen while I was recording while we were opening the booster packs because the background messed up and it couldn't show it. So in case you didn't hear me last night, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate yesterday's super chat, son. Larry, Laboratory Maniac, yes, yep. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, that works. Thassa's Oracle also works, 100%. There's a dragon. If you have 25 artifacts, you win. 25? Is it 25 or 20? Yeah, I can't remember. 10 gates in play? Yeah, I guess they could throw the gates and Maze's End in, right? That would work. That would work. There's that weird angel that if you gain 15 life in a turn, you win. Okay, yep. Absolutely. Rex, you can't say Approach of the Second Sun, you dumb bastard. It's on the fucking screen. It's on the screen. What the hell do you think this is? Fucking Green Eggs and Ham from Dr. Seuss? I know I said what cards. I said what other cards? What other cards? You know what I was saying? Other two? Other than this, you dense son of a bitch. Come on, man. Don't even. It's like if you were like, maybe there's a Sol ring in this. It's right here. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. Battle. It can't be Battle of Wits. It can't be Battle of Wits because Commander decks can only be 100 cards. Santos, I already said Coalition victory. I already mentioned that one. I said, will they make it legal? Larry, Biorhythm it's not allowed in Commander now, but there's nothing saying that they can't change it. Right? Ned, isn't there a card where you win at 13 life? Triskaidekaphobia? Something like that? Something like that? I think you're right. It's one where you can either choose to have everybody gain a life or lose a life each turn, and then if you're at exactly 13, you win? Is that right? Cthulhu near life experience? Near death experience. There you go. Spurl, you appreciate the shout out, but it's not needed. Has anyone ever flipped out because I didn't shout out their chat? Technically, yes. But that was because it was like some trolls found the stream and they were acting up and they noticed that I read all the super chats. So I was reading the super chats, and then once I realized that they were just trying to basically start fights between me and other YouTubers, or I could tell that it was literally like they're just trying to be dicks, and so I stopped reading the super chats. And then they're just like, "Oh, you're a thief, you have to read it, blah blah blah." And I'm just sitting there going, I don't have to read it or even acknowledge your existence. So yes, in the most technical sense, there has been instances like that. But it's people who are just trying to be like, oh, I can make you say this. And it's like, I don't have to fucking read any of the super chats. I choose to, right? You can even go and look in YouTube's terms and conditions. There's nothing about a streamer having to acknowledge or read out super chats or any of it. So for me, I thought it was hilarious where it's like, they thought they had me. If we put in a super chat, he has to say it. And I'm just sitting there, thanks for the free fucking money. Get as worked up as you want. I don't care. As soon as I realize that this is not done in good faith, it's like, thanks for the cash. I'm not reading it. It's funny how you think, I'm going to yell at you and now you got to read it. It's like, you seem very confused. If I feel like I don't need to read these, what on earth would make you think yelling at me in all caps, oh, you're a thief? No, you gave me that. Stealing is if I took it from you. So you just feel robbed because you had a particular expectation and thought, I've done something clever. And it's like, all you did was give me money, you dumb fucking hooker. And you get zero response from me because I don't waste my time on fucking garbage. So that was funny to me. That was funny to me. Ball Falcon, Door to Nothingness. There you go. That's a good one. We already know the deck is going to have 5 different colors in it, right? Rex, Revel in Riches. That's the treasure one, right? Where you get 20 treasure tokens. That one doesn't seem like a bad choice. Doesn't it only have like it only has like 1 black in its casting cost, doesn't it? And the rest is like whatever. And the treasures will help you cast other spells. There's a lot of white cards that let you win if you have more life. Well, I'm imagining they're only going to put in 1 card for each particular win condition. Bear, Halkite Tyrant, if you have 20 more artifacts, you win. See, there you go. That's what I was thinking. 25 sounded like too much. Elmo, what's the card that if you have 7 artifacts that are the same name, you win the game? Does Replicating Ring do that? Near-death experience, if you have exactly 1 life at the start of your upkeep, you win. Yep, you could put that in. You could put that in for sure. Bolvalgan 20 Toad. Is that an actual magic card? They've made so many magic cards that I used to know them. I don't know them anymore. Like, there'll be ones where I'm like, that's not a card. And then it's like, yeah, it is. There's that one Jumpstart cat I didn't know about. That's like Bristly Bill, but on crack. And I was like, whoa. Fucking sweet, man. Halo Fountain. Does Halo Fountain let you win? Is that what its ultimate ability is? Happily Ever After. Oh, is that like the from the Eldraine block? Or it's not a block, is it? Is that from Eldraine? Bowfalcon, it's 5 white and tap it. Untap 15 tap creatures you control, you win the game. Okay. Yep. That's definitely a possibility. Phage the Untouchable makes them lose, so I get... Yeah, actually, Phage the Untouchable and insta-death touching each of your opponents, like hitting them with it, that could fit into the different ways of winning, right? You could also go with... Isn't there something that makes it so like assassin tokens, if they hit your opponent, they lose? Or something like that? Or maybe it's just half your life. Bolvalgan, whenever 20 Toad attacks, you win the game if there are 20 more counters on it, if you have 20 more cards in hand from Bloomborough Commander. Okay. Fair enough. The stuff from Commander decks is more likely to have me not know exactly what it is. So... I believe it. Game of Chaos flip until somebody takes lethal damage. I mean, it says the way of winning is reduce your last opponent's life total to 0. So I think that is probably under that umbrella. We don't know, though. Wizards could be playing word games and whatever. But ultimately, I feel like when it comes to damage, that's like already covered by old reliable way of winning number 2. So, I mean, this is an interesting exercise in trying to guess the different possibilities. Ned, yes, poison counters, absolutely. Poison counters are 100% away. Bolvalgan Laboratory Maniac, yep. I believe that was previously mentioned in the stream, but that absolutely is one of the cards that could be. Let's see here. I mean, an easy way is to just look at like all the cards that you can win the game with. So Celestial Convergence, the beginning of your upkeep, remove an Omen counter from it. It comes into play with 7 Omen counters on it. If there are no Omen counters on it, the player with the highest life total wins the game. So you could win with it, theoretically, right? You could theoretically win with it. Hedron Alignment. At the beginning of upkeep, you can reveal your hand if you... Oh, no, never mind. You need to have different Hedron alignments in different parts of the, like Exile and stuff like that. That won't work. Azor's Elocutors. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a filibuster counter on it. If it has 5 or more filibuster counters on it, you win the game. Whenever a source deals damage to you, remove a filibuster from it. And it's a 3/5 for 5. So it could be Azor's Elocutors. That could absolutely work. We already had Baron Glory. Ramsey's Assassin Lord. Whenever a player loses the game... Whenever a player loses the game, if they are attacked this turn by an assassin you controlled, you win the game. So Ramses the Assassin Lord could work. Triskaideka File. This one cares if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. Epic Struggle. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more creatures, you win the game. We already talked about Chance Encounter in Mortal Kombat. Happily Ever After was already mentioned. Miles Aria. Beginning your upkeep, put a +1/+1 in each creature you control. If you have a creature with power 5 or greater, then you gain 10 life if you have a creature with power 10 or greater. Then you win the game if you have a creature with power 20 or greater. Test of Endurance was mentioned. Gallifrey Stands, I feel like, is excluded because it is a Doctor Who card. So we're going to skip that one. Darksteel Reactor. Oh, man. Darksteel Reactor. So you put it's an indestructible artifact. You put a counter on it during your upkeep. And then when it has 20 more charge counters on it, you win the game. I built a deck around Darksteel Reactor back in the Mirrodin days. Mechanized Production. That was the one that was mentioned before about having, somebody said 9 artifacts, but it's 8 artifacts. So it's basically 4 mana to enchant one of your artifacts. At the beginning of your upkeep, you create a token that's a copy of that artifact. And then you win the game if you have 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one another. I feel like you could just use that with treasure tokens, right? That feels like an easy way to win. So that would work pretty well if you have that enchantment that makes the treasures as well. Simic Ascendancy. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Simic Ascendancy has 20 or more growth counters on it, you win the game. And whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, you put that many growth counters on Simic Ascendancy. And it has the ability to put +1s on your guys. So that's a possibility. Revel in Riches we talked about. Halo Fount was mentioned. Helix Pinnacle was mentioned. Liliana's Contract. The beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 or more demons with different names, you win. That could theoretically work if Wizards is willing to dedicate 5 slots of the deck to it. It feels more demanding, but if the deck has like changelings or something like that, you could hit the conditions for it. Biovisionary. Beginning your own step, if you control 4 more... No, okay, that won't work. You have to have 4 Biovisionaries. Hellkite Tyrant was mentioned. Felidar Sovereign. If you have 40 or more life, you win the game. Maze's End was covered. Lab Maniac Approach to the Second Sun. Jace, Coalition Victory, Thassa's Oracle. Okay, so we've run through the entire list of possibilities at this point, right? Some are more likely than others. I feel like Liliana's Contract is unlikely. Kensugi Amulet of Quaz. They're not going to reprint anti-cards, but great callback. Let's see if I can remember exactly. Amulet of Quaz is a 6 casting cost artifact, and it's 3 and tap it, and probably sacrifice it, and then you do a coin flip, and whoever wins the coin flip wins the game, basically. Right? I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look that one up. Amulet of Quaz. Oh, you don't have to pay 3 to use it. Okay, 6 to put out. Tap it, sack it. Target opponent may enter the top card of the library. If they don't, you flip a coin. If you win the flip, that player loses the game. If you lose the flip, you lose the game. Man, the old anti-cards were absolutely wild, bro. Shadowfan, you think this commander deck's going to be annoying? I feel like it's just going to get raffle stomped, right? Like, you're trying to go in so many different directions at once that how much room are you going to have to handle problems for you? If you have to dedicate so many slots in your deck to just alternate win conditions, how much can you even do in response to your opponents? So I feel like this deck is going to be a big sloppy mess, right? It's like, imagine if you went to a club and you tried to finger one girl at that club. Now imagine if you're trying to finger 20 different girls all at the same time. You ain't got enough fingers, bro. At that point, you got to start bringing your toes into the thing, and you got to get them to all like crowd real close together. So I feel like this. My official verdict on this deck is it's like trying to finger 20 different ladies at the club all at once. Yamagoro, yes, I mentioned that green enchantment, 100%. It has been covered. Pierce, yeah, Amulet of Quaz is from Ice Age. You are correct. Elmo, you think it's going to suck balls? That seems like a fair evaluation of the deck, honestly. Spurl, have I ever lost a card due to ante? Yes! I lost a bunch of cards due to ante. Ante was a genuine thing when I started. When I was a kid, we used to play marbles for each other's marbles. So ante was just an extension of that. My fucking buddy, the guy who got me into Magic, right? He won my Underworld Dreams. Underworld Dreams was a really big deal back in the day. Like a really big deal. And I had fucking just gotten one. I'd never seen it before. And I'm just in my mind going, oh baby, I'm gonna go blah 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 blah. First turn Dark Ritual, Underworld Dreams. Yeah, get some. And so my very first game with it in my deck, it came up as the ante. And I lost it. And most of the time, when you lost cards in ante, you could trade them back off your buddies. So I wanted my Underworld Dreams back. And he's like, no, I plan to use it. And I was just like, no. Like, we had rules where you could double ante for cards, where it was just like, you ante a card, and if you don't want to ante that card, then you can ante 2 more cards. And I didn't want to do that, so I let the Underworld Dreams go up for ante. I have a few fun stories about ante. I remember I played against this one friend that I had. He basically screwed himself over. My Berserk was up for ante. And Berserk, it's a big deal. It's a big card, right? So my Berserk is up for ante. And so he has me so outclassed. Like, his deck has my deck massively outclassed. I'm playing like a 120 card green tower, and he's playing I'm gonna clone and Vesuvan my Mahamoti Shins, and like he had fucking mana drains. Like, his deck was powerhouse, and my deck was a goobly green deck in the original days of Magic, when green was the weakest color by a long shot. People complain about green nowadays, but green back in the day, yeah, it had a few good cards like Fastbond and stuff, but mono green was a ticket to losing. When I used to play my control decks and I saw my opponent lay a forest, I'm like, oh, they're playing part green? This is going to be easy. And then when you find out they're playing mono green, you're like, oh, I'm just guaranteed to win. I can't lose to a mono green deck. So he was just running house on me. He was running house on me hardcore. And my Berserk is up for ante, and he's just running laps around me. Mahamoti, clone, Vesuvan. Like, instead of just killing me, he was just playing with me like a cat with a mouse, right? So I'm just sitting there with my stupid green mana battery. It's 4 to put out, tap it, pay 2, put a counter on it, and then you can tap it like a mana rock, take any number of counters off of it, and then get that much mana. So just turn after turn, I'm doing very little most of the time, and he's countering anything reasonable I do. Like, if I play a Cockatrice, which is a 2 green and 3 for a 2/4 flyer, but it destroys anything it blocks or that blocks it with Stone Vision, right? Turns it to stone at the end of combat. So the Cockatrice dies, but who cares? You literally get to take out like their best flyer. So he's countering all that stuff, just going for victory laps. And so he taps out to make like 2 more Mahamotis. So he has like 10 on the board. And I'm just like, tap my green mana battery, Hurricane for 40. We're both dead. And he's just like, what? No, shit. He's like, okay, well, when there's a tie, you have to play for the same ante. Those are the rules. And I was just like, that ain't in the rule book, bro. And so he pulled out the rule book and he's flipping through it furiously. He can't find it. He's like, I'll call my buddy. He'll tell you. I'm like, oh, no. It's not in the rules. Berserk back in my deck. And I'm like, and I'm not playing you anymore. Because I was a fucking beginner. And he bitch slapped me. And a month later, he never fucking beat me again. When we started playing again, when I actually knew how to play, boom! I fucking took him out over and over and over. He still remembers. He's like, yeah, I don't really remember winning against Hatcher. I was obsessed with Magic, and I whipped the dog shit out of him, and I never felt bad about it because, well, he pulled that shit when I was a fucking beginner. He did some skeezy shit. I remember once, and this would have never flown with me because I just would have told him to go fuck himself. But he's playing against this guy, and in the middle of the game, he's just like, okay, we're playing for Overkill Ante. And Overkill Ante, if you don't know, is for every point of life below 0 I take you to when I kill you, that's how many cards I get from your deck. And then he fireballs this kid for like 40 and takes 20 cards off of his deck. And I watched it and was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe you're standing for this shit, you know? Ridiculous. But ultimately, I am the one who made everybody I know stop playing Ante. What up, Fisher? How's it going, buddy? I killed Ante for everybody because I basically subverted the entire concept by taking advantage of Sylvan Library and Dark Pact. Sylvan Library and Dark Pact together. So Dark Pact is a 3-black sorcery. Swap the top card of your deck and swap the top card of your deck with either card in the ante. So I can literally flip over the top card of my deck, take your card out of the ante. I now own that card, and the top card of my deck goes into the ante. So with Sylvan Library, I could control what was on top of my deck. And so what I would do is I would just Dark Pact twice. Once to get a basic land from my deck for one ante card, and then again for another basic land. So whatever the ante was, I'd save my ante by turning it into a land, and then I'd steal my opponent's fucking card permanently, owning it, because those are the rules, right? So I would just do that. I would go Dark Pact, Dark Pact. And once I had done that, I would concede the game. I'd be like, you win. He's like, what? And I'm like, come on, let's go again. And I just shuffled it up, right? And it didn't take very long before they're like, fuck that, we're not playing for ante anymore, man. Fuck you, dude. Because I was like, I don't care about the win. I'm going to take your whole deck, motherfucker. Right? Like, so, yeah. And it didn't take long before they just removed ante from the game anyways. But I completely destroyed ante for my play group because of my cheese bag bullshit. Right? Or it's just like, you can have the win. I lose. Here's your swamps. Okay, let's play again. Oh, here's a swamp and a forest. Thanks for the cards from your deck. There's no way for you get to keep your fucking ante because you're not going to kill me fast enough. I'm just going to pull this off because that's what the deck does. That's what it's all about. Cheesy. But I was very pleased with myself, you know? Elmo, yeah, Killer Bees was awesome back in the day, but until they printed it in Chronicles, impossible to get. Legends was super scarce, and even more scarce in my area. There was a dude that I knew, and we had a pact. We had a Legends pact, where anytime either of us traded any cards, like any rares from Legends, we traded them to each other only. Nobody else. Me and this one specific guy from the old days had that pact so we could keep the fucking Pixie Queens and Sword of the Ages and stuff from disappearing, because motherfuckers would come down from Toronto and scoop up all the super fucking rare stuff and take it out of circulation in our area, because the world was a lot smaller back then. It wasn't like the internet and you'd just be like, oh, all this, like, getting cards was genuinely challenging, and Legends was ultra fucking rare. Like, ultra rare. I only saw Legends in the store one day, and I got to buy 3 packs of it back in the day, and that was it. And I loved Legends. It was so much fun. It had so much cool flavor and crazy cards. I remember my buddy was the first one to have Sword of the Ages, and he fucking used it with Shivan Dragons. He put out mana flares, pump a whole bunch of mana into the dragon, and then just swipe its head off with the sword. I loved that. I did that with my Thalid deck. I'd sit back behind Spore Flowers and use Fungal Bloom so that I could effectively fog every turn. And then I would slowly but surely crank a bunch of little 1/1 donks. And then I would fucking just go, take the sword, chop their heads off, and chop your head off. I loved that. My deck was almost all Fallen Empires. I had a fungus deck. I built it as a theme deck. Using Fallen Empires. And I only went outside of Fallen Empires for 3 cards from Legends. 2 Moss Monsters, because they fit the theme, and Moss Monster is 2 green and 3 for a 3/6 with no abilities. It's so bad. 2 Moss Monsters and a Sword of the Ages. And that was my concession to, like, other expansion sets. I had the basic stuff in there, like Sol Ring and whatever, but in terms of stuff from expansions, that's all I had. It was 100% a theme fungus deck. And I managed to win the tournament with it, which I was not expecting at all. Things just turned out to go very, very well for me. Like, Thalids One Thallid and a Spore Flower is amazing against the Abyss. The Abyss is brutal. It just smokes a creature every turn. Boom, gone. Boom, gone. Boom, gone. So it's always causing problems. But when you can just generate little 1/1 donks and throw them into the Abyss, it's like, well now, that was your main way of dealing with my stuff, and it worked for against most decks. But so somehow that Thallid deck ended up winning the entire tournament. And there was one guy there who was this insufferable prick. And he had all the power cards and everything. And the game store owner did not like him. So when I beat him with like he had all the moxes, all the craziness. And I was just playing basically a Fallen Empires deck with the Sword of the Ages in it. And so when he got beat, the store owner stopped the entire tournament. Then there was like fucking 60, 70 people at this tournament. He stopped the whole tournament to make like an announcement. And he's just like, he gave me an entire box of Fallen Empires because I just fucking beat this guy down with a random deck from Fallen Empires. And then he turned to the guy out all the moxes and stuff, and he gave him a single Thallid. He's like, here you go, so you can start a good deck of your own. It was awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. I loved it. I was not expecting that, but watching that prick get it rubbed in his face felt really good. It felt really good. Spurl, early Magic was the most amazing, bro. Habanero, Palladium Morse is the card that got you into Magic when you were a kid, and it's what began your fascination with the Legend set. Hell yeah, bro. The first 3 packs that I opened, I got Lady Evangela, who I thought was really cool, but I got Vevictus Asmadi, that 7/7 dragon with 3 kinds of fire breathing, and I was like, whoa! And like everybody at the store who was like around paying attention to the packs being opened, because that's how you learned about stuff. You could, like, there was no spoiler season. You learned about cards by either seeing them in a booster pack or somebody opening a booster pack, playing against somebody, or trading. It was a different age of discovery. So more people would pay attention to what you were opening. And when I opened that pack and got an Elder Dragon, people went, whoa! Because Elder Dragon was worth, like, at the time, this is so funny, Elder Dragon was worth more than a fucking Black Lotus. If you got an Elder Dragon, it was more valuable than Black Lotus, and it was worth like 2.5 moxes. Like, it was that level. And everyone went nuts, and I should have probably traded it for other stuff, but I saw it and got super excited about the big fucking fire-breathing abilities. So I like I said, playing a 120 card green deck, I put this dragon that costs 2 green, 2 red, and 2 black into a 120 card green deck, and I put 3 mountains and 3 swamps into the deck. I put 3 mountains and 3 swamps into a 120 card deck so that I could cast the dragon. That would require 2 of the swamps, 2 of the mountains, like there were, and I came up with really convoluted plans to get the dragon out, where I ended up discarding the Elder Dragon into my graveyard, and then the plan was to attack into a wall. So my opponent had to specifically have a wall, and I would attack into their wall and then play Glyph of Reincarnation, which let me swap the attacking creature that had been blocked by the wall with a creature from my graveyard, and that's how I got him into play. But I still had to have one of those swamps or mountains. After a bit, got into the dual lands, got some bayous in the deck. Actually, I got a bunch of bayous before we found out you could only play 4 of them. I think I had like 9 bayous by that point. And it's so crazy to think about, like, nowadays these cards are worth a fortune, but back then they were just Magic cards that we played with, right? 1,000,000 years ago. 1,000,000 years ago. Emerald, that's right. Legends had the most ridiculous problem where you could only get half of the uncommons that existed in the set in any given box. So if you got a mana drain in your box, that meant that, like, there's a bunch of other uncommons you literally couldn't open in the booster packs at all. So Wizards had like a exchange program where you could send in a pile of uncommons from your booster box, and they would send you a random pile of uncommons from the other half that you couldn't get in that box. So on top of being super scarce, the set was just fucked up. But I loved it, man. I loved Legends so much, bro. So much. Chromium is the best Elder Dragon. Doesn't Chromium have Rampage, man? Like Rampage 2? Awful. Awful. High Wind, yeah, you know what? So what that the magic dreams don't pay off? Just dreaming the dream sometimes is enough, right? Getting excited about the possibilities. I used to sit there and just play Magic against myself using these like Magic variant games. I wonder if I actually have a copy of that old brown Magic book that had those variants in there. That might be an interesting discussion sometime, now that I think about it. I'm going to make a note to look for that, because it could be fun to talk about some of these options. And if I don't make a note, I will have forgotten about this by the time the stream ends. But yeah, I played Magic like all the time. When I could get my friends together after school, we would play, and then I would just mess around with cards myself like all day. Obsessed with Magic cards. Juggling Whirling Dervish is gross, bro. 2 green, fucking 1/1 pro black, and every time it hits your opponent, gets a +1/+1 counter. I still use that a lot when I play Shandalar, bro. Ness, you love the Player's Handbook? That brown one from the old box set, bro? I loved those old days of Magic so much, man. So much. Opening that Fallen Empire stuff yesterday was pretty fun. It's a nice reminder. And, like, the thing about Fallen Empires is we all came to mostly despise Fallen Empires because it was insanely overprinted. And I mean, Fallen Empires was a victim of Magic the Gathering's success in one way, because there's big problems with getting sets like Legends, and Wizards of the Coast could not meet demand. So if a game store ordered boxes of Magic, they would get about 10% of what they ordered. So game stores figured that out. They're like, I'm only getting about 10% of my order, so if I order 10 times more than I want, I'll get how much I want. That was the trick. But Fallen Empires comes along and Wizards is like, we've sorted it out. We can meet any level of demand. So people ordered 10 times as many boxes as they wanted and ended up getting it fulfilled and stuck with so many of these booster boxes. And then the fact that Fallen Empires didn't have as much variation in the cards because a bunch of the commons had like 4 different art printings and stuff. And the set didn't have much in the way of bangers. There are a few banger cards in there like Hymn to Turok. But overall, the set didn't have that many bangers. So Fallen Empires, just people started to hate it. It was fucking worthless. Everybody had all the cards, didn't care. But like for me, Fallen Empires was amazing. Like, yeah, at a certain point, I didn't consider it to be worth opening anymore because I had already opened, I had everything. I had like many copies of literally everything in the set, which makes it feel pretty fucking pointless to be opening the packs, right? There's nothing in there really with any kind of fucking trade value or anything. So at a certain point, you just don't care anymore. But when it first came out, that we didn't know that was going to happen. So that initial period was just fun joy. It was just like, yeah, this is awesome. I love the flavor of this. Trying to figure out what happened to the different Sarpadian empires, the different factions, the overall flavor of the set, and the fact that back then there weren't that many Magic cards. So even ones that weren't so great were still nice to have. What is going on here? That's really annoying. It's like the stream's froze up, but on my end. Not like it's a problem for you guys, but for me. Fallen Empires equals not stonks. Correct. Jugglim, yep. I mean, it does. The cards are easy to access even now. Fallen Empires cards will never be prohibitively expensive. So there is that silver lining. Kyle, you played a little in 2012, and now you play in-person Arena Spell Table. You're just going to the Magic Cons. Yeah, you're full on, man. Magic's awesome. I got obsessed with it. Obsessed with it from the fucking get-go, basically. It's just awesome. There's so many different cards. So there's just so much awesome flavor to it. You're literally fucking casting spells and wailing on each other. It's great. High Wind, would that constitute a flavor win with the set being called Fallen Empires? Yeah, I mean, I guess, right? There's that level to it too. Fallen Empires had some really good flavor. And there's a bunch of extra stuff that was written as part of the world and the story that was never really conveyed to us, but exists. And I found some of it. Like, it's like they did internal world building and storytelling, but for themselves, so that they would understand the world they were building. But they never put that information out for the people on cards or in a book or anything. So it's like you learn it through side interviews and stuff, some weird little resources. Fisher, Baron Sender was so huge back in the day. Such a big deal. A giant beefy flyer who's just got like super evocative flavor. You got a vampire lord. What's not to love, right? Hey, Bullfalcon, gifted memberships. Thanks, buddy. You get to be the member lord under the new member lord magnet. Like, that looks so much better, doesn't it? Looks so much better. And the board looks better with your name on it, Bo. Thanks for gifting fucking Hatcher Stream memberships to Highwind, DeVoe, Beaumonker, Thulu, and Retire. All right. I'm gonna change my drink up. I gotta refresh this, okay? So, I shall be right back. Don't be a dink! Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. All right, I'm back. I am back. Man, what we talked about has sent me down a whole nostalgic road. None of the people that I played Magic with back then still play anymore. I'm like the last one. There are people who used to go to the game store way back then that I still see. There's a couple of them, but like my actual friend group, which was pretty big, a whole bunch of us got into Magic, but none of them, not a single one of them play Magic anymore. And then there's me. I play Magic every fucking day on Arena. Take my cube down to the game store on the weekends. That kind of shit, you know? Got Shandalar, which, talking about this old school Magic stuff, gives me the itch to try some Shandalar again. It's been a while. It's been a while. But yeah, I can be described as a Magic fanatic, obsessed with Magic the Gathering. Still. We're on the verge of the biggest change in the game, and I don't know. This is going to be the biggest test of my love so far, right? Where it's just like, can I still enjoy the game the same way when it turns into just a bunch of different random properties slapping up against each other, you know? When it's like the fucking Pizza Hut versus Hewlett Packard secret layers, you know? When we just have like regular Earth fucking businesses as the secret layers. It's not even like genuine properties with worlds anymore. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna attack you with a McDonald's cheeseburger. Scan the QR code for a 50-cent discount. Elmo, yep, Shandalar is a great game that doesn't get old. I have always loved Shandalar. Even in the periods where I didn't feel like playing physical Magic that much, every once in a while I would just, because like the amount of Magic that I played has gone up and down. It's varied depending on what's going on in my life around it and whatever, but every once in a blue moon I would just like feel the call of Shandalar. Just be like, yo, I need to play Shandalar. I fucking love that game. It makes me feel like I've been alive for 1 million years when I think about the realities of when Shandalar came out. Shandalar was a huge game at the time. When it came out, it was massive. How massive? 100 megs, which is nothing now. 100 megs is nothing now. But it was everything then. The computer that I had when Shandalar came out, and by computer I mean our family computer, because we didn't all have our own computers. There was one computer in the house, the family computer, and it had 100 megs of space on it. But 30 megs of that just had to be used for the Windows operating system. So it's literally like Shandalar can't even be installed on the computer. It just can't be installed. And I'm just like, but I can play Magic as much as I want, whenever I want. Oh God, I want to try this game. I want to play this game. And then the next computer we got had enough space that it could go on. And I installed it. And I remember watching, they had the big Magic cards on the screen, just changing as it's loading the game. And I'm like, that's smart. It gives me stuff to stare at excitedly. And then you play it and you're like, oh my God, this is like an adventure where I actually run around and fight guys. You fucking play for ante. You're playing for each other's cards. Oh my God, this is amazing. I'm like, and I'm literally on a quest to stop an evil force from taking over the entire fucking plane. That's amazing. He's using these arch wizards as his pawns, and I'm going to set out as a lowly apprentice to stop him. And I have to like scrape my way up because I have a significant disadvantage. These guys all have tuned decks, and I have a random pile, like a starter deck. And then there's also these special cards that only exist in this client. Oh my God. I fucking loved Shandalar, bro. I played it so much. So much. And yeah, I have like 3 physical copies of it now too. I kept a copy of Shandalar for years and years and years and years. It's one of the few things that I kept, but I like always had it pretty much. Because Shandalar's the best, man. It's the best. It's so much fun. For somebody who played old school Magic, it's so much fun. And then you've got the updated version where you have cards up until like 2016 or something. So you've got like an extra 20 years worth of cards put in. But damn, does that make the opponent's decks meaner. But you can have way more crazy combos and stuff going off. The end guy's deck is bonkers. I had the game that I was playing on stream, and I had my own personal game. And in my personal game that I wasn't streaming, I took it all the way to the end, and I played the end guy, and his deck is so fucking cheap. His deck is so it's such cheesy bullshit. But now that I know what it is, the next time when I do a playthrough, I'll be snagging cards that I know will fuck him up, right? Because it's like what he's playing is cheese bag. But if I'm ready for his brand of cheese bag, and I'm not going to say anymore because I'm going to leave it open-ended and suspenseful because we will be doing Shandalar playthrough action. It's going to happen. I can feel it building within me the same way that a kettle starts to boil, right? The percolations are imminent, my friends. You know? So I'm going to leave the discovery of what the end deck is for when we get to that point. No need to get ahead of the curve, right? But either way, Shandalar's dope. I'm definitely going to go back and play it some more. Larry, the thing is, when people talk about creating a format, who's going to play it? If you go, there's a format you can only use Universe Beyond cards, who's going to play that? Who wants that? That's what it actually requires. Yeah, like, you can't create a format as something to pen people in and force them into something. You can only create formats as options for people to play if they want to. So, who knows? Maybe you'll get that 5 years from now. Maybe there'll be people who are like, okay, we only use none of those weird fantasy sets at the beginning because that's strange. You can only use all the different properties that we know, like Smash Brothers and stuff. And then guess what? When that happens, that means you'll never get a regular Magic set again. So do you want that format? Right? Wizards will go, oh, check it out. Universe Beyond is so beloved that they're the new generations of Magic players, who are the people we care about now, they don't want the old stuff. We're never doing a Magic IP set ever again. But trying to go, we're making a Universe Beyond format. You have to go over there. That's never going to work. It's never going to work. It has to be people going, I want to be over here. Yeah, me too. Me too. Not, you have to go over there. Fuck you, I ain't gonna. You know what I mean? That's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go. Ness, have I ever played Battle Mage for the PS1? No. But I think I have the disc. I have been sent a lot of cool magical artifacts over the year. Over the years. I love adding to my magical knowledge and just overall magic vibe hoard. It feels great. It feels great. Having the comic books and working on the magazine, all this kind of stuff, right? Collecting it all up slowly but surely. I love it. I love it. It gives me more context when I'm discussing Magic in the current times, but also there's a lot of nods to nostalgia. At some point, I'm going to get a setup where I can actually easily show like a magazine, and then we'll probably go through some old school, early days Magic magazines. Because I've had the idea for a while and still haven't done it, of just vibing like it's the 90s when I was playing old school Magic. So taking a bunch of cards from the old era and just kind of stacking them around, listening to music from the time frame when I was playing Magic back then, slap on some fucking Soundgarden or whatever, you know, and just kind of just emulate the vibe of the time. And while I've got all those surroundings and the music playing, sit with one of those Magic magazines, you know? That feels like it will be a good time, but I haven't actually done it. Elmo, you like Universe Beyond only as an interesting building restriction? Fair enough. But that, to me, doesn't have anything to do with it catching on as an actual, full-on format. Right? It's not going to happen anytime soon. And if it does, it's not going to be because people hate Universes Beyond. It's going to be created because people love Universes Beyond and want to keep the other shit out. That's the reality that we're living in. There's not going to be this massive outcry where everybody turns around and goes, I don't want Universes Beyond. It's not going to happen. If that was going to happen, we would have already seen it. Right? People become more accustomed to this fucking shit every day. So it's not like there's no revolution coming. There's no flipping it back. So the question is, what do you enjoy about Magic? What do you want out of it? And if it's something particular that you can't get now, you still have the time that you did, and you still have the things that you did, so you can re-experience that, but you won't be getting any new experiences. So for me, with the Universe Beyond stuff, I absolutely prefer Magic to not have it. But I'm not going to stop myself from enjoying the Universe Beyond stuff that I do, and I don't care, right? That's what this is like. Oh, but you're by liking that stuff, then Wizards is going to make more of it. Okay, but guess what? Even if I didn't like it and didn't, there's enough people buying it that it's going to happen anyway. So, fucking disco night is happening. I'm a dance. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Magic boycotts don't work. Everybody has to be on the same page. So only Magic 30 is the product that's ever been boycotted. Aftermath wasn't boycotted, but man, right? It didn't do well. But yeah. That's the reality of it. So I like the look of some of the Final Fantasy stuff. I want it. I like the Monty Python stuff. I want it. What are you going to do? Right? That's it. So I'll never be on board with the people who are like, you're the problem. You got to stop fucking buying it. It's like, listen, man, life is short and Magic's my hobby. You just got to stop buying it for years and then hope that things change into what you want, and then you're allowed to get it. It's like, no, that's cool, man. I'm going to just fucking enjoy what I enjoy. And what I don't enjoy, I won't. No, but yeah, it makes you the problem. You can think of me as the problem then. Whatever. You are allowed to think that of me. However, you thinking that or saying it about me will not change my actions. You know? Hermit, it's possible. It's possible that someone will... It's possible somebody could make a superior card game to Magic the Gathering and that people would migrate there. Because Wizards of the Coast isn't exactly like consumer friendly. I don't think that Magic is going to die out because everyone gets siphoned off to another card game. I think that card games are going to be less and less of a thing as we progress further and further into techno world, because digital card games will be able to do it better in virtually every way. And once they get that all sorted out, and that's what people get used to, physical cards will seem quaint and also like a giant fucking hassle. So I see that things like TCGs will reduce in popularity as they feel more and more archaic to successive generations. That's like Wizards of the Coast is freaking out because their main audience, their average customer is 30 years or older, and they want younger demographics. But the reality is that card games aren't going to become more fucking popular all of a sudden. It's just going to slowly diminish as there aren't people as interested in coming into it, right? So I don't see a long-term future for card games except for like fucking niche hipster groups who are like, oh, you play the digital card games? Well, check it out. I have a real card here, and I'm going to put it down on the table. It's like, okay then, you know? That's probably what's going to happen. So I don't really see somebody else coming along and taking Magic's players and moving them all the way into another card game. Because that's what a lot of people like, well, stop playing Magic, come play the game that I like, and whatever. That's fine to get people to play the game that you like, but Magic's not going to collapse because like another game dominated it and made the players run over to it. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It feels like card games are just going to all atrophy. Wizards of the Coast's game is going to atrophy faster now, probably because of the choices they're making don't engender the same long-term loyalty. So they're courting younger customers and random splash grab, like, we'll go here, and then we'll go here, and then we'll go here, which doesn't really make it into a long-term and franchised individual in most cases, right? So I think Magic is going to end up shrinking from this, bro. Fragnes says, playing with friends is more important than my vendetta against stupid non-universe BS. Yeah, it's like, listen, Magic the Gathering is my hobby. I play this game for fun. People, it's It's hilarious to think in my head what some people online think I like am or what I'm like when they're like, this guy hates Magic. He needs to quit. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? I fucking love Magic. I adore the game of Magic the Gathering. I hate that Wizards is pissing in our mouth, bro. You got it fucking twisted. You think that I fucking hate Magic. No, son. I play Magic like every day. I promise you, I've played Magic more than you have. I fucking promise you that, bro. Because I started playing fucking 30 years ago and I played obsessively. I literally couldn't tell you the number of games that I've played. But just on Arena alone, when I'm actually actively playing it, I play like a whole shitload of games and I get the little newsletter from Wizards saying, you played more than like 99% of the other players and shit. It's like, of course I did. Because I fucking love Magic. But there's like, your video tiles seem negative. You hate Magic. So you need to go away. And it's like, bitch, I will be here when you're long gone, whoever the fuck you are. Listen, Johnny come lately. You can suck my fucking taint, dickhead. If you think I'm giving up my fucking favorite hobby because you don't like the videos that I make, like what kind of fucking lame-brained idiot walks into a place and goes, hey, all your videos have a similar theme. You should stop. What? You have fucking brain damage, moron. What's a go to a channel where it's like, I'm talking about Magic news. I'm talking about what's going on. No, but you hate Magic. No, I don't. Fuck you. You hate Magic. You have to quit. What? Yeah, no, I can say whatever I want. I can make up my own fucking aspersions and cast them on you, son. So you hate Magic. You have to quit. No, I don't. Well, you're just here being a negative dickhead about what I'm doing, right? So you're being negative, which means you fucking hate Magic. You hate this. You're not allowed to use YouTube. Get off of YouTube, dickhead, because you don't like this thing. You're not allowed to say you don't like it, because I'm not allowed to say what I don't like, so you're not allowed to say what you don't like. It's so fucking pointless. It's so stupid. But yeah, I hate Magic. I hate Magic. And I also hate myself. So I waste all my time complaining about a game that I hate, because why? Who fucking does that? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Cat, cardboard over digital when your power goes out. Your lights are powered by electricity, so your lights are going out. Have fun playing Magic cards in the dark. A book, digital card games will never fill up your dining room table as well as paper Magic. True. But you know what, buddy? You and I weren't raised with fucking cell phones. We weren't raised with like instant access to all this stuff and the ease of technology. Like for real. If you take paper Magic and Arena and you take somebody who doesn't know anything about card games or give a shit about any of them, do you know how much easier Arena is? You can't break the rules because the game won't let you. There's an infinite fucking amount of opponents. You don't have to shuffle your cards. You don't have to organize your cards. You can't damage your cards. It's like you can just get any cards you want instantly. You don't have to fucking deal with other people to acquire cards. Like, digital wins in a lot of fucking ways. In a lot of ways. Trust me. Try getting into a card game that you're not as interested in. Where it's like, this game's alright, but I'm not as interested in it. Then, card management becomes a fucking hassle. Throw it all in a box, who cares what the fuck I got? And I'll muddle through it when I muddle through it. Like, so, I think that if you're really into Magic the Gathering, and especially if you're from a fucking older generation, you can't really wrap your mind around how it is for younger people who are just using technology. It's so superior, it's almost not even funny, right? Yeah, you don't own the cards, but whatever. It's just another fucking game. It's just another game at the end of the day, right? Just another digital game you can play, whatever. Or you can play the game at your ease, or you can go and buy all this crap and spend all this money and then have to find people to play with and all these other issues that come along with it. A lot of people are lazy. It's way easier to go the digital route. And Arena's fucking free. I mean, yeah, you can spend money into it, but you can also play it for free. Paper Magic is fucking far from free. Millmaster, if they could sell you a 3D printer that could spit out a perfect Magic card in 30 seconds, good for you. But I don't think for a second that's going to... Oh, hey, do you want to play this game? Or do you want to sit there and oh, you want to build a 60-card deck? Okay, well, 30 minutes later, okay, I printed out my deck. Like, nope. Digital still wins. 100%. 100%. Cards are fucking fiddly bullshit. And the app, the program, will do most of the work for you. And when people can choose to have most of the work done for them, most people will. Common denominator shit, right? So there will be a niche group of people who are interested in the fiddly card shit. And most people will go, that's all right. I'm good. You know? Fisher, I don't know anything about what's going on with Yu-Gi-Oh! Their sealed sales are down, but sales for their arena equivalent are way up. I believe it. I believe it. Oh, what's this? An email from Nintendo. Learn all about our new whatever. Whatever. Larry, yeah, bro. Back in the day, there was a million different people trying to bust into the card game market based off of Wizards of the Coast success. They're like, let's make a card game. I remember a million. And that's where the whole, like, you know, once bitten, twice shy. 15 times bitten, I'm really fucking shy. That's how it went with card games, where I would try all these new card games. And then it's like when you watch a war movie and the little like new raw recruit comes into the trench and he starts to say his name and the veterans are like, don't tell me your name, kid. You're going to be dead in a minute. I don't even want to know it. Survive the day and I'll listen to your name. You know, that kind of thing. Live long enough and then I'll want to know who you are. And that's like what I adopted as a philosophy with card games, where I'm just like, I'm not interested in getting into a card game and having it die on me immediately. It's shitty and it's a waste of time, and the amount of fun that you have playing it with your friends and whatever isn't worth it. You don't get enough out of it. You put too much in, you don't get enough out. So you learn to just go, all right. That's why my philosophy about card games has been, if somebody wants to get me into them, send me some of it and I will check that game out. Because otherwise, unless the game's been around for a number of years and genuinely like fully pulls in my interest, I'm like, nah, I'm good. So people take it upon themselves to hook me up with different games, and I try them. That's how I found out about Grand Archive, and I actually had a good time at Grand Archive Ascent. I've got a video about the event that I'm still editing together that will come out when it's done. And then I'm going to do a case study using Grand Archive as an example of a card game that people are abandoning Magic for, as Magic has a rate of attrition to different card games, but we're going to use a smaller game for this instance instead of one of the obvious big ones like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or whatever. It's more obvious why people would bail for those. And honestly, a lot of the reasons are going to overlap whether we're talking about a big game or a little one. But that's the one that I'm going to use. Kevin, you think things will come back around? Life moves in circles? No, not really. No, when it comes to technology and stuff, we're not all like, oh, everything comes back around. Let's go get our fucking 2400 baud modems. Let's get the milkman delivering milk in glass bottles. Life moves forwards, buddy. 100%. 100%. So, like, the card game stuff, the most you can hope for is a little niche group, some fucking hipsters who are like, I collect fucking vinyl records because the sound's better, and I play with physical Magic cards because I find that affectations are far more important than an actual personality. Maybe if I fucking do enough cool guy things, then you won't fucking realize that I'm empty and materialistic and it's all about the stuff outside me, and I don't actually have a genuine personality. I define myself by random fucking objects that I think make me better than you. Fucking hipster cockbags. I stir my coffee with a noodle. Well, fuck you. I care more about the environment than you do. Jam the macaroni up your ass, bro. Let me just use a fucking spoon. What is this shit? We stir our tea with noodles. Why? What's wrong with you? Just use a fucking spoon. Fucking hipsters, man. Wearing toques. Fucking toques in summer, bro. What are you doing? It's summertime. It's, if you're wearing a hat, it's to keep the fucking sun off your face, you fucking idiot. So you want something with a brim. You don't want a fucking woolen hat on in the summer. It's cooking your brain, you fucking magoo. But I guess if you think wearing a toque like that makes sense, then it doesn't matter. Your brain's already worthless anyway, so who cares if you cook it? Fucking hipsters. That's right, lazy. Most of the card games are a waste of money, bro. Fisher, half your playgroup only have a few decks for cost reasons. Makes sense. Your roommate and you let them use yours so things don't get stale. That works. That's one of the things I like about the cube, is the cube is the great equalizer. Where it's like, yo, here we go. We both play from my cube. Nobody has like an advantage over the other in terms of access because, I mean, yes, it's going to dole out the cards randomly, but we have access to the same card, like pool of cards, but just accessed randomly, right? So it is the grand equalizer across matches, not just in one game. Meat, you want milk in glass bottles? Well, you just made... Now I'm thinking about that Aphex Twin song where he says, I wish the milkman would deliver my milk in the morning. And then he keeps saying, I would like some milk from the milkman's wife's tit. That's an Aphex Twin song. Oh, I remember it because my buddy brought the Aphex Twin album with us when we went on a trip. We went on a road trip to Quebec. So that Aphex Twin album was played a lot because we only had a few different tapes. It feels so archaic now, bro. I have a watch that can hold like a whole bunch of songs, like a whole bunch of different albums, hours and hours with the music. It's just a fucking watch. And it's waterproof. It's literally full on waterproof. You can just go into the fucking shower with this watch MP3 player on and be like, okay, I got my speaker playing and I can change. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love the technology. I love how things are going. Hermit, are hipsters still a thing? Yeah, hipsters are eternal. The concept of hipsters will never die with their affectations, where it's like, you don't play this because you think it's cool. You do this because you think doing this makes you cool. There's a big fucking difference, right? I play Magic cards. I play this card game because this card game's cool and I like it. But I'm playing this card game because look at me. I play with physical cards. Look at me. I'm doing a thing with the physical cards. It's not about the game. It's about them. And that hipster mentality will persist throughout all eternity, right? That's the label that I'll always use for it. I'm sure there's been labels for it differently in the past, but pretentious douchebag, same thing, you know? He says hipsters carry their own hemp spoon to stir their oat milk cage-free coffee. There you go. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Kevin, who said magic cards are going to vanish? I never said that. Millmaster, I didn't see the Vegas Vintage Cube where they got to keep their draft. But that's obviously got to be a fucking sweet experience. Spurls, anyone remember VHS? Tons of people, man. Abook, you remember Aphex Twin's Rubber Johnny video for the first time? So creepy. My favorite Aphex Twin video is Window Licker, where everybody has his face, and with those two guys at the beginning of the video are trying to pick up chicks, and they're just so ridiculous, basically haranguing these women, and then fucking Aphex Twin, like he smashes them out of the way with his limo, but the limo goes on forever, and then the window rolls down, and it's like, and then the song starts. It's like, oh man, that video is ridiculous. Larry, that's a fucking dad joke. How did the hipster burn his tongue? He tried to sip his coffee before it was cool. Speaking of unfunny, last night I made Carly watch National Security because Martin Lawrence is on the cover, and I knew that meant it would be fucking terrible because Martin Lawrence is like aggressively unfunny. It's insane how unfunny he fucking is when he's supposed to be there for comedic value. So I made her watch that, and it turns out we had watched it in the past because it was like very vaguely familiar. But we're going to do a worst movies we watched this year video, and Carly said she didn't have enough in there. So I was like, I'm not going to tell her, but I'm going to actively make her watch a terrible movie. So I did, and I regretted it because it's just awful and a waste of my time. Martin Lawrence is so not funny. Is there like, has he ever been funny? Is there anything that he's actually funny in? Because the other actors in the movie were fine, pretty much. Like Steve Zahn or whatever his name is. He did just fine. He did just fine as the cop. But like, Martin Lawrence is supposed to be that cheeky character where you're like, oh, he's a rascal, but he says funny stuff, and you just gotta like him, right? But you don't like him, and he's not funny, and he's mouthing off in court, and the jury in the courtroom are busting a gut, but I'm like, this isn't funny. Like, what he said isn't funny. The only moment in that movie that was actually all right was when they hotwired the van, and they like to get out of the back of the transport truck, the trailer of the truck that the villains were driving. So they're in the back of the truck, hotwiring the van, and they get the van to like fly out the back doors of the trailer. But the thing is, the trailer truck had already kind of half jackknifed or something, so the trailer is now on an angle, which means when they bust out, they fly down into the water. Like they just fire off a bridge down towards the water. And that made me chuckle. I was like, that's all right. But nothing Martin Lawrence did was genuinely funny, you know? Ness, you have Astro Boy VHS tapes? I remember watching Astro Boy. Whenever I think of Astro Boy, my brain always thinks of this episode where there's like a Black Panther that like splits in half. Doesn't Astro Boy learn to split himself in half too? Oh shit, what's the name of that crazy anime where it starts out where like aliens essentially land in this park, and they accidentally land on like two people and just kill them, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta go quickly rebuild them and let's get the fuck out of here. So they basically like totally mash two humans up by accident, and then they like rebuild them, but they rebuild them out of insane technology. So these guys now have like crazy weaponry in them and like jet thrusters and stuff. And so the old man's learning how to fly. Like the one's a young guy who's also like a fucking sociopath, and or pseudo sociopath, maybe not exactly. But then the old man is like a good dude, and he's learning to fly, and he sings the Astro Boy song, and it's so fucking heartwarming. Honestly, that anime is great. What the hell is it called? Inuyashiki? I feel like it might be Inuyashiki. I'm definitely not talking about Inuyasha. Ghostface, Bad Boys 2. See, I remember watching the Bad Boys movies. I know Will Smith. See, Will Smith is charming. Actually, I was thinking about Martin Lawrence when we were watching the movie last night, and I'm like, it's almost like it's like he's like a mentally disabled Will Smith shitty clone. Like Will Smith can be all smarmy and I don't know, he's just got like, you can have the cocky attitude or whatever else, and he sells it, and he's believable, and he's likable. And then Martin Lawrence is just like fucking obnoxious. Elmo, you thought he was hilarious in Boomerang. I don't think that I've seen Boomerang. Is he in it? Because that's an Eddie Murphy movie. I don't see him in the cast. Book Martin Lawrence was truly unfunny. It really feels like it, man. I remember Martin had a show. But, like, when you go back and watch these old shows, a lot of them end up sucking. And I presume that Martin sucks because I can't remember a single thing that happened in that show. All I can remember is the beginning intro, like, Martin! And it was that. That's it. That's it. I can remember stuff from all kinds of random shows. Full House, Mr. Belvedere. Like, not amazing shows by any stretch, but, like, Martin Lawrence... thumbs down. I wonder what other movies he's in. Maybe I should make Carly watch another Martin Lawrence movie tonight. Oh my god. What do you guys think? You think that I should do it? Oh Jesus Christ. I've never seen Big Mama's House. I imagine it's fucking terrible. Alright, what kind of options do we have? College Road Trip. Oh, what is this? A family movie? Oh, it's G-rated. Ugh. I mean, it's got to be ones where he's on the cover. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins? What are these fucking movies, bro? He was made fun of as a kid. Now he's a successful talk show host who dispenses advice and encouragement to millions. When his parents asked him to come back home for their anniversary, he vows to show everyone how much he's changed. Unfortunately, his plans are no match for his southern relatives. Oh, this sounds awful. This sounds awful. Supra watch Black Knight or Blue Diamond. Are those are those Martin Lawrence movies? Meet Big Mama's House is not good. It's painful to watch. Sheldon's like, shh, I hear you scheming. It's all good. I'm pretty sure she has her headphones on because if she had heard, she'd probably already be in the stream going, what are you fucking talking about? No, right? All right, let's see what other options we got. What is Wild Hogs? Oh, no, that's rated G. Big Mama's House 2, Rebound, Black Knight. Oh, Jesus. An employee of a medieval world amusement park suffers a blow to the head and wakes up in 14th century England. It's rated G. Tapping into his good side, he aligns with a peasant woman. Jesus. Oh, Lord. What else do we got? Blue Streak. Oh, that's 14A. When a heist goes wrong, thief Miles hides a diamond at a construction site before he's arrested. After serving 2 years, he returns to the location of his treasure, finds it's now a police station. Disguising himself as a recently transferred officer to infiltrate the building, he stops an escaping thief while trying to retrieve the jewel. Impressed by his quick action, Superior Rizzo partners him with the bumbling detective Casey. Alright. They are all terrible. They are all terrible. I believe it. Nothing to Lose. Wow, he is in a lot of G-rated movies. I mean, he's on the... Boomerang is on this list, so he must be in Boomerang. But he's not on the cover, right? Talking Dirty After Dark. It's rated G! That's funny. House Party. Alright, well, there's a fair bit of options there. Wild Hogs is old dudes getting motorcycles. Tim Allen, William H. Macy, and John Travolta. It's bad, but you'll laugh at how weird it is. Alright. Man, these seems like... What's this? Hold on. What's Beach Bum 2019? Oh, is he not the main character in this one? Okay. Mind Cage? What is Mind Cage? I guess the hardest part is that, like, to get her, I gotta get me. You know. How about this one? What's the worst that could happen? Caffrey is a professional thief with taste and style. Is trying to rob billionaire tycoon Max Fairbanks. Oh, it's Danny DeVito. He's trying to rob his mansion, but in the middle of the robbery, he finds himself face to face with Fairbanks. As he's being arrested, Max sees a ring on Caffrey's finger and claims it for himself. It's his engagement ring, and he's determined to get it back. So Martin Lawrence goes to rob Danny DeVito's mansion. Danny DeVito takes his ring, and then he's like, I'm going to get my ring back. That's probably terrible. That's probably terrible. I feel like I'm going to put it on and not tell her. I'm just going to be like, here's what I'm going to say to her. Okay, since we didn't like yesterday's movie, I've got a different comedy for us to watch, and this one has Danny DeVito in it. I won't tell her that Martin Lawrence is like the main, and I'll wait until she's like not around so she doesn't see the cover of it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna write this one down. Okay, it's called What's the Worst That Could Happen? And if she says something, I'll be like, what's the worst that can happen? What up, Thompson? How you doing? Carly is like, can we not watch this movie? Yesterday I'm watching the movie. I'm like, you said you don't have bad movies on your list. I'm like, we're going to talk about it. So write in your notes. And she wrote like a big fat page of notes. Including me shit talking Martin Lawrence. Okay, what's the worst that can happen? That's what I'm gonna do tonight, guys. What's the worst that can happen? All right, well, thanks for coming and hanging out, my friends. It has been a chill stream indeed. I will catch up with you guys again soon. In the meantime, actually, I guess I'll leave you with, where is it? Here it is. I will leave you with the link to the Movie Goodness channel, right? Right here. Here's the link for Hatcher Movie Talks. And we'll end it off with the fun little trailer. So we'll get rid of that, and go like this. At Hatcher Movie Talks, we pride ourselves on two things. Respecting the fans. No, don't tell us in the comments. Shut up. I don't need to hear if you think I'm wrong. Shut up. And if you don't like it, I don't care. And always being 100% accurate. Yeah, because I don't remember anything from number 3. When you said the hacker kid, I was just like, hacker kid?
In the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one. Right?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. Hatcher Movie Talks. Subscribe now. You have 20 seconds to comply.